Welcome back to our ECIV 309 Lab 1, Part 2. I decided to break this up into different parts. It was kind of an afterthought, but that way the videos don't get too long and also allow you to visit different portions of the video if you need to. Plus, just logistically, it helps me to go back and edit things if I need to. So part 1, we covered the Revit interface, navigation, and played a little bit with project browser and the properties window and changing property types of objects. For part 2, we are going to cover, starting on page 3 of the handout, crop regions and match lines. Crop regions allow us to change what we see in a view, and match lines allow us to break up a view into two different pieces. And we're also going to look at view templates real quick. So if you haven't already, in part 1 you needed to complete the additional practice on page 3. So I'm assuming you've done that and gotten a little more practice with navigating around. So let's what we're going to do here, we're on level 1, so if you're not on that level, then go ahead and double click on level 1 in the floor plans. And in the view, let's just make sure that's our only one open. If not, you can do close hidden and close every other view. Try to keep our view openings to a minimum number. Alright, so what we're going to do is break up this level 1 floor plan into a north half and a south half. And to do that, we're going to create a match line that breaks the north and south right between the C and D grid lines. Alright, to do that we need to create two additional views, and they need to be nested or dependent upon level 1. So we're going to go into project browser, right click on the level 1 floor plan, and do duplicate view, but choose the duplicate as a dependent, this bottom one. Okay, creates an exact duplicate of level 1, but it's nested under level 1. So that means any changes we make to level 1 will show up in this nested one. Let's name this first one, rename it, right click, rename to level 1 north. And level 1, duplicate view, duplicate is dependent. Let's create a second one and rename that one level 1 south. Okay, now I want you to double click on the level 1 north, and we're going to select this crop region, which is this line rectangle, solid rectangle on the outside. That's our crop region. If for some reason you're not seeing that, over here on the properties window, scroll down and make sure that crop region visible is selected. Checked, I should say. Okay, so let's leave all those three on for now. Now select the crop region and you'll see some solid blue grip circles, and this dash line on the outside of the crop region is actually an annotation crop region that can be controlled separately. So So for now, since we're in the north, we want to grab this bottom grip and drag this up and place it between the C and D, right about there. So now all we see is the north half of that building. We lost our legend, so let's put another legend in here. And to do that, we're going to have to go back to level 1. So we can either click in the level 1 floor plan of the project browser, or you can right click on the crop window and select go to primary view. Either method will take us back. So let's select this room legend and hold down the control key, and then with the left mouse button drag and drop this room legend up and to the left here, and that'll copy it. Okay, so a quick way to copy is hold down the control key and then left drag the object. Now let's go back to level 1 north, and we don't see that room legend. That's because our crop box isn't allowing us to see anything outside of it. So in this case, since it's annotation, let's grab this left annotation grip and drag it to the left a little ways. About, let's say there. Looks about right. And now we see the room legend. Now double click on level 1 south in the project browser under floor plans. Select the crop box, crop region. Grab the top grip, move it down to between the C and D. Like so. Notice the legend. Now we only show living. What happened to the other legend items? They disappeared. Why is that? Because it's a smart object and it recognizes that in this view the only thing we're showing shaded is the living. So it got rid of or updated the legend to show only the living portion that's shaded. Pretty nice little feature. Alright, so let's go back to our main level 1. We now see a dash line which represents kind of where our match line is going to go. Let's create a match line with some text and then designate the north and the south half. So to do that, we go up to our Annotate tab, and let's see, actually let's create the match line first. So go to the View tab in the ribbon, and over here under the Sheet Composition section there's a match line button. Select that. Notice, by the way, if I hover my mouse for a little time over a command, it gives a description of the command, plus if you wait a little while, a little video sometimes will pop up showing you what that command does. So it's a nice feature to be aware of. So I'm going to click on match line, and it's asking where I want to draw this match line at, and I'm going to just try to follow along that dash line. Notice also up in the ribbon it automatically puts us into the Modify Create Match Line sketch mode. sketch mode we'll use quite a bit, but just allows us, in this case we're just going to draw a line. So we have draw, we either have line or we can pick a line, but for now let's just do line. And I'm going to hover my mouse down here as close as I can get it. And draw a line from there over to the right. And notice in Revit, now's probably a good time. For some reason my computer's working pretty slow. I don't know if it's because I'm recording or maybe my video driver needs to be upgraded. But it pretty nice because wherever we move our cursor we get degree angles. In this case we just want to go flat, so we're going to move it horizontally, and it should snap to a 0 degree, and it also snaps to 90 degrees as well. We're going to draw a match line right there. Okay, and we could either keep going with this match line, but I'm going to escape out, and then we're still in sketch mode, so basically it's allowing us to edit this line that we drew or add to it or modify it. So up in the ribbon we need to make sure once we're in sketch mode to click the Finish Edit Mode button, this green check mark, and that will take us out of the sketch mode. Okay, so that match line is there, but a little confusing as to what's the crop region, what's the match line. So let's change that match line to a little different line style. So to do that we would go up in the ribbon to the Manage tab and select Object Styles. And then go over to the Annotation tab and Object Styles and scroll down till you find Match Line. And let's change this to a dash dot. Click Apply, and now we see that match line update to a little different line style. Alright, now let's create a text to label this match line. So go back to the ribbon and select the Annotate tab, and then select the Text button under Text. And here we have various options. We can select text with no leader or text with different types of leaders, justification, and so forth. So for now we'll leave it the way it is with no leader, left justified. And it's asking us where we want to place that text, so I am going to drag a box over here and type match line. Now if I hit enter, which is common, you'd think enter to be done, but enter just creates a new line. It's a hard return, so I'm going to hit backspace to delete that. To get out of this box, what you do is just to select outside the box somewhere, and that will end that. And then it still is in our place text mode though. That's why we have the cursor with the crosshairs and the A, we can actually place another text. So I'm done, so I'm going to hit escape twice to get out of this command totally. There we go. And let's zoom in a little bit. And let's move this down, get a little closer, and then we can grip this box. If we needed to rotate this for some reason, we would just hover our mouse over the rotate icon and we can rotate the text as well. But for now, we'll just leave it the way it is. Let's say we wanted to change that text to a different style. To do that, again, select it, and notice in the Properties window, we are now looking at what this text is. It's a 2.5 millimeter Arial. Let's create a new text for this. So I'm going to do Edit Type, and then let's duplicate. Good thing to do. And type your initials, and then hyphen custom. Alright. So that way we're not changing the 2.5 millimeter Arial. We want to keep that intact the way it is. So let's change the font to something different. In this case, maybe let's scroll down here and find something. Let's see. How about this chiller, whatever that is, something interesting. And let's change the size to 5 millimeters, and let's make it bold. So check the bold mark, hit OK, and now we get a little different type text font. Okay, we can always go back, select it, go up here. We've created a custom one, but we can always go back to our original. Okay, the last thing to do for setting up these two sheets is we need to designate and tell which sheet is the north half and which is the south half. So to do that, you go into back up to the ribbon in the View tab, and right next to the Match Line button is another command called View Reference. So select View Reference, and it opens up a new tab, and we want to, the target view is set to level 1 north, so it's asking where is level 1 north. So if we move our cursor down here, it'll turn into a little icon, and notice, by the way, down in the lower left of the screen it says, tells you what to do. So if you're ever confused, like what do I do next, this is a good place to look to get some instructions on what the software is prompting you to do. And in this case, click to place a view reference. So since our target view is the north, we want to go here and click, this is our north side, and then go up back to target view and change it to south, and now click down below in the south, and we're done. So we can escape twice to get out of that. So it's placed a couple of placeholders on the north and south side of the match line. Those placeholders will be updated with sheet and names once we create sheets, and then they will label those. At this point in time, since we haven't created a north and south sheet, it's not labeling them. So that'll happen automatically once we create the sheet. Okay, one last thing before we move on to creating sheets and printing is view template on page 4 of the handout. A view template just helps us to quickly set up views for what we're seeing. In this case, for example, let's create a view. We're on level 1 still, and we want to keep this view that shows furniture, and let's create another view without furniture. So to do that, right click on level 1, and you'll see up towards the top is create view template from view. So we want to create a view template from this view. So this view right now, and we're just going to name this one furniture. And I already had one created, so it's asking if I want to replace it, and let's just say yes for now, because I want you to see that you'll get this view templates, and here's a few templates, and here's our furniture one that we created. And over on the right we can take advantage of turning on and off elements if we need to, and the VG, which is visibility graphic overrides of the model, and we could select on that. For now, let's just leave it because we want to keep this view as it is, so select OK. Let's select OK. We could also duplicate this. Actually, let's do that. So we got delete. Let's duplicate this furniture view, and let's name this one sans furniture. Sans being French for without, a common word that's used in the design industry. Oh, it's already used. That's because I created it earlier, so let me go through this again. Delete that. Create new, called sans furniture. Okay, so for sans furniture, what we want to do is turn the furniture models off. So we have a table with some chairs, and you got a sofa and some chairs and stools over here in the living room. So let's go into our VG overrides model and go into the model categories tab and scroll down a little bit here until you find furniture, and let's turn off. So we're in the visibility column. Uncheck or turn off furniture, and also furniture systems. Okay, so we're just turning everything off in furniture. Alright, we'll click OK and OK again. Alright, so the furniture's still there. That's because we haven't changed our view template. It's still on the furniture one. So if we want to see this view without furniture, we would right click and go, right click on level 1 and go apply template properties and select the sans furniture, so without furniture, and let's just do an apply here by keep an eye on the table and the sofa, and we should see this disappear. Hit OK and they disappear. So that's just a quick way to set up some visibility options and save them as templates, and keeps you from having to go back and forth between the visibility graphics or the temporary on and off. Okay, let's put this back. Right click on level 1, go to apply template properties. Oh, on occasion this will come up. This is a good thing, telling us we haven't saved the project. So now is probably a good time to save our project. Okay, and then go back into level 1, apply template properties. Let's change it back to the furniture, bring it back, and so there we're good. Okay, so for part 2 we played around with crop regions. We created 2 different views of the same level, a north and a south. We created a match line with some text, and we also showed you how to set up view templates. So that takes us through page 4 of the handout, and our next section for lab 1 will be part 3, which is creating sheets and printing, and within that we'll also show you how to create a title block, and that should wrap up lab 1. So see you in part 3.